Hey yo, back up in this bitch. 30 views, 30 views. Oh my days. I'd like to thank my mother, my father. I'd like to thank Al Heyman. I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my manager, my promoter. All of you fans out here worldwide. 30 views. Killing the game right now. So, back again. Here we are. Lomachenko Linares. Interesting fight. Interesting fight. I know a lot of people were maybe thinking it's going to be a bit of a parade for Lomachenko August 31st at the O2. Yet to be announced. Eddie Hearn says it's still in contract stage. And number of things to break down about that fight. I think the styles matchup is an obvious one. I think, given honest appraisal, both of their careers to date, and some of the interesting overlaps that they have as amateurs is worth mentioning, as well as just the business of the fact that it's going to be in the UK. I think that's worth talking about as well. So, first things first, I think it is going to be a competitive fight for about 6 rounds, which is better than a lot of Lomachenko fights, So I'm really not that down on it. Here's why. So we've only seen Lomachenko in 3 fights now at lightweight. The first one against Linares, obviously big struggle for him. Listen, first fight at lightweight, stepping up against Jorge Linares at 135, it's never going to be easy. For me, that was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life in terms of the overall skill level. But you did see Lomachenko get dropped. You did see him struggle against the longer, taller, bigger man in Linares, right? So there's that. And I think there's a lot of parallels in Campbell. The fact that he's going to have all of those dimensional advantages on the night. Also, let's not forget, Campbell did win gold at the same Olympics as Lomachenko. Not that you can say that they were anywhere near as good as amateurs, but there is pedigree there at Campbell. They were both gold medalists at the London 2012 Olympics. So the fact that they're going to be meeting as pros in London, I think almost 7 years to the day, where they would have been crowned as Olympic champions. I think it's a big fight, and yeah, I think with the style of Campbell, how he likes to keep it on the outside, how he likes to hit with a 1-2 and move, and I think for the first few rounds he will keep it interesting. It's gonna be exciting to see what Shane McGuigan can bring to Campbell's game, because he has been a little bit one-paced and become a little bit predictable in fights. And for a fighter who's so multi-dimensional like Lomachenko, you might think he would just work him out, get his angles, and then it would just be one-way traffic. And I think that would probably be the case in the second half of the fight. But I think stylistically, it's about as competitive as you're going to see in terms of any of the other lightweights out there. I think Campbell also takes a decent punch. I don't think he's going to get bombed out at this stage of his career. And yeah, I'm pretty positive about it. Hopefully I'll be there. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. In terms of the business aspect of it, I think it's interesting that Bob Arum is so keen to have Lomachenko fight in the UK. It seemed like they were going to have a bit of a tug of war between DAZN and Matchroom and Top Rank and ESPN for the Crawler fight. In the end, Eddie conceded, and there was a lot said on Bob Arum's side about Eddie trying to fight a war that you can't win against ESPN to show Lomachenko. So it looks like maybe part of the deal there was that, hey, the next Lomachenko fight against a Brit, whether it's Campbell, whatever, you can have it, and it looks like they're going to put it on Sky pay-per-view, but it will be on ESPN in the States, so it's not going to be a DAZN fight. ESPN are keeping hold of Lomachenko. But the other reason that I think that Arum wants him fighting in the UK is to just get him off the wage bill, to use a soccer and football analogy. I think in the last fight against Quali, he probably sold 5,000 tickets in LA. Now, Lomachenko's on a lot of money, right? So Bob Arum might be doing his conkers on some of these Lomachenko shows. So he might be thinking to himself, fuck it, you know what, Eddie? Eddie, take him to London, right? Um, and like you'd make a decent gate at the O2. I don't know what the ticket price is going to be like. I'm worried it's going to be a bit like Golovkin Brook, which is not an altogether terrible comparison apart from the weight jump that isn't there. Um, so yeah, they're going to do a big gate in London relative to Lomachenko gate anywhere else in the world, frankly. And so for Bob Arum to have somebody else paying Lomachenko's wages, but still get to show him on ESPN, um, and also, you know, Eddie's going to be putting on Sky and whatever. So it seems like he's going to be taking the financial risk of the show, and yeah, um, gives Lomachenko more international exposure, and then Bob Arum will bring him back for a unification fight, where hopefully he's not going to be losing money on the show, which is interesting, and it does make you wonder. I mean, I don't know how many dates Lomachenko has left on his contract. Like, how viable is it for these fighters to be with big promoters? You know, we know Triple G was going it alone or with K2 Promotions for a long time. Lomachenko, again, decorated amateur, massive star within the boxing community, but not much mainstream appeal in the US. Not really a massive ticket seller, unless they can put him up against like a Mikey Garcia who wasn't really feeling it, moved up in weight. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, next time Lomachenko's contract comes up for review, does he try and cut his own deal with someone like DAZN or something like that? Watch this space. But yeah, I do think it'll be an entertaining fight. I do like how Campbell brings his power on in the later half of the fight. He seems to try and box for the first half, build up a bit of a lead, and then let his power shots go. So yeah, all things well and good. We should see an entertaining fight, and towards the back end, the Matrix moves come out, and the London audience get to see a fantastic boxing show. And yeah, if we get a knockout, great. If Campbell puts on a valiant performance like he did against Jorge Linares himself and loses, you know, it'd be I'm easy either way. But hopefully this fight gets made.